All right. So yesterday when we tried executing Java programs, so we found there are some typical errors which we found, like saying main class not found or class not defined, etc., etc. Right. So that time I said, like, let me check with my installation, then I'll come back to you. So I tried sorting out that error. So it's not actually programmatic error. It's an error with respect to our class path. It's an error with respect to class path. So already I told you what is class path, how to set the class path. See, sometimes what will happen is when you keep on uninstalling and installing the softwares, so this problem will come. So what happened in my case yesterday is I had two versions of Java, as you have seen. I have 1.7 and 1.8. So when I have both the versions, I set the class path. So then there is a conflict whether to take the Java 1.7 or 1.8. Because compiler doesn't know whether which one to take. So that is the conflict happened. So there it's shown saying that, so main function not found or class not found, main method not defined, etc., etc. Right? So let me just give you a clear picture now. Please make a note of it either in the mobile phone or pen and paper. So this is the last time I'm just going to show you how to set the class path. That's it, nothing more than that. So I'm just doing the repetition. It will take hardly 5 to 10 minutes. Just have a look at it. So first what we need to do is, so we need to take down the JDK software, right? As all of you know. So my JDK software is here in my software folder. So this is called JDK. So I am installing 1.7 or 7 version. So there is 1.9, 1.10, 1.11, which has come in the market. So let me just show you. So Java JDK. Sorry, I'm showing from the first initial steps. So you need to go to the JDK. I don't know how many of you are keen on following. I said Java is from Sun Microsystems, but now if you see, I'm getting into Oracle website. So I'm getting into Oracle website. So Java is actually invented by Sun Microsystem. So today also, if you install, you will get Sun Microsystem only. But recently, Oracle has acquired the Sun Microsystems. Oracle has acquired Sun Microsystem. So that's why you going to Oracle website to download it. Now you can see here 16 version is going on. 16th release is going on. This is the stable releases. So 11 is there, 8 is there. So I'm using 7. Why I'm using 7 is it is having all the packages which is required for us. Why we will go for the latest versions is, so why we need to 7 and 8 there is no much difference. Why we'll go for 11, 16 and all. So when you want to go for the enterprise applications, then it is always useful. As I said, Java can be used for standard applications, enterprise applications and mobile applications. Of course, mobile application is ruled out now because of Android. So if you want to go for Springs, Hibernate, Servlets, JSPs in advanced level, JSF, so then it is suggestible for this. But see, most of the times, not only Java software, whichever software you are going to install, whether it is a Python software, whether it is a .NET software, try to install a stable version. Try to install a stable version. So what is meant by stable version? See, stable version is something which most of the programmers might have used and given their consent saying that yes, this is working fine. But the latest releases, what is going to happen? Until unless we run the real-time applications, we cannot say that whether it is good or not. Whereas stable versions, you can say that yes, this is a good. To give you an example, PHP now we are running with 7.2 version. Hope you know what is PHP. PHP is another language, so which is having 7.2 version in the market, but the stable version is 5.4. So why 5.4? Because in 5.4 you will get all the features which are essential for the programming, and it is approved version from the programmers. That's what it means to say. It's an approved version from programmers. So now what you need to do initially when you are going for, you install any JDK, there is no harm. If you install 16 also, there is no harm. You can install and download it. You can download and install it. So just you need to click on this download, then you can download the JDK. So this is called JDK, right? So JDK we are going to use, not these ones. Don't go for machine control, advanced management console and all. So this is for the admin side. So we are from the programmer side. So directly you can download the JDK like this. Right? If you want to work on the server side, you can also download server JREs. So depending on your requirement, but as of now, as per the VTU syllabus, as per your requirement, if you download JDK, that is more than enough. So you download any of the latest JDK, but I am stable version. I am using 1.7 now. So after downloading, you will get a file like this. After downloading, you will get a file like this. When you double click on it, see in your VTU exam, there is a question on JDK, how to install JDK, right? So you need to remember these steps, right? So once you click on that, you will get a pop-up window saying that do you want to install JDK? So update 79 and development kit is 7. So when I say yes, then it will take me to the next step. It is just loading. It will take me to the next step. Yeah, so you can see here, it is getting installed slowly. Yeah, so it's already installed on my computer, so that's why I don't want to reinstall it again. I need to set the class path. So I'll next, finish. That's it. Nothing more than that. So no need to do anything over there. Just next, and done with the installation. See, as I said last time also, installation is not the big issue. Setting the class path is a big issue here. So that's where yesterday also we faced the error. So how to set the class path? If you are using Windows operating system or any operating system for that sake. So what you need to do here is, so you need, especially Windows operating system I am showing, go to this PC if it is Windows 10 or my computer in Windows 7 and Windows XP. So right click on it, go to properties. I'm just repeating, go to this PC, right click, properties. If it is your Windows XP and all, there will be my computer. Same thing for my computer, you go to properties. There you will find the advanced system settings. There you will find the advanced system settings. So just click on that advanced system settings. So click on that advanced system settings. So once you click on this advanced system settings, okay, so before I just go here, so let me show you. See, last time I am talking about Java is the architectural neutral, right? See, you can see here, this is an Intel Core i3 processor. Hope you know what is Core i3, why it is called Core i3. So it is a Core i3 processor with 4 GB RAM. So tomorrow if I execute same program in i7, it will work. That is what architectural neutral. All right. So what we need to do, we need to click on advanced system settings, then go to environmental variables. You can see here, there is an option called environment variables. There is an option called environment variables. Then click on it, click on this. You will get a window like this where you can see user variables, system variables, user variables and system variables. Now I'm just going to click on system variables. Right, don't set at the user variables, always set at the system variables. So there is a system variable called path. There is a system variable called path. You just double click on that. Right, I'm just coming back. So you will get user variable, system variable. In the system variables, there is a system variable called path. Just double click on that. Then go for the new. So when you go for new, it will ask what is the path. Then go for browse. Again, I'm repeating. Click on new. So once the cursor comes here, go to browse. In the browse, go to the place where you installed Java. So in my case, so I have installed in C drive. In the C drive, I have installed in program files. In the program files, I have installed in Java folder, JDK. You select here JDK 1.7, whichever version, then bin. So up to bin you need to select. I'm just repeating. So go here, click on new, click on browse. So go to my PC or this PC, then go a little down, go to C drive or where you installed, maybe D drive or E drive, then go down where is Java program files. So in the program files, go to Java. In Java, go to JDK, then select the bin, click on OK. So when you click on OK, you will get the path. You can see here already I set the path. See program file, Java 3.0_79/bin. Bin. Now you say OK, OK. Don't close directly. Give OK. This one you close it. Now the class path has been set. Now the class path has been set. So how to check class path has been set? So I'm just closing this. I'll come from the first. Go to command prompt. How to go to command prompt? So go to start, type CMD. So when you type CMD, you will get the command prompt. So once you click on the command prompt to check whether Java installed properly or not, type Java C. When you type Java C, you will get the few packages. It shows that your Java is installed properly. Please make a note of it. Java is installed, but it is whether it is working fine or not, we don't know until you execute a simple program. So now my Java is installed properly. So I'm just clearing the screen. CLS is the clear screen command in Windows command prompt, right? So now if you want to go to directly C colon, I want to remove all these subfolders. So CD backslash, then it will remove all the subfolders. Backslash or forward slash? What is this? Backslash or forward slash? Yes. What is that symbol? Backslash or forward slash? What is this symbol? Backslash or forward?
Forward.
Forward. So which is backslash then? So this is a backslash, right? So you please put CD slash, then all the subfolders will be removed, right? So now I need to check whether my program is working fine or not. See, I understood that Java is working, Java installed properly. Now I need to write the Java program. See, this is another software which I suggested yesterday. Those who are really interested to learn, please install Sublime Text. Please install Sublime Text. See, what will happen in Sublime Text is, I'll show you the beauty of Sublime Text. What I'm doing here is, I'm writing one Java program. Import java.io.star. This is my package or header file. Then I'm calling a class called class svce, right? You can see here flower braces. When I put one, I'm getting multiple. Then public static void main string args. Public void main string args. So immediately I'll just put one more flower braces. Now you can see here how it is going to come. Now what I'm doing here is system.out.println of welcome to SVCE. So I'm done with my program. See, for this class flower braces, it has closed already. For this main function, it has closed. See, you can see here whether it is closed or not properly. When you go to cursor here, you can see where it is closed. If I go to cursor here, where it is closed. Now, when I say go and save as, see, this is where beauty of your Sublime Text will come. So you can write C program, you can write C hash program, you can write C++, you can write D, you can write whichever language program you want, Java, HTML, PHP, ASP, right, .NET, all those things you can write here. So once it is done, what you need to do, you need to save it. As I said, class name should be same as program name. So I'm just saving it as SVCE. Right now, what type of file it is? It should be a Java file. So I'll just click on J. So you can see here it is a .java file. So I'll say svce.java. So what will happen now is it is going to check for the syntaxes. So now when I say yes, save, you can see how it has changed now. You can see how it has changed. Previously how it is, now it has changed to like this. Now you can easily identify classes, objects, keywords, header files, everything in this program, right? So this is how Sublime Text will be very useful. So let me just show you one simple example here, one more. Say for example, when I say hash include stdio.h, it is not a compiler. Please remember, it is not a compiler. It is just a editor where you can write the program. So void main int a comma b comma c, a equals to 10, b equals to 20, c equals to a plus b. Print f the value of c is what I need to write. If I want to print the value of C programming. Yes. Comma
C.
That's it. Is this correct?
Ampersand C.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So we need to write ampersand C because I need to print the value, no? So now when I just go and save this program, see how the program looks now. When you write it, nothing is different. It is like a normal program, normal editor. So when I save this, save as, I'll just save like sample.c, or let me make some other name because already I have given some sample. So sample123.c and select the program as C program, right? So save. Yes. So it's a free version, no need to purchase. So if you want to purchase, you can purchase, no problem. See, now you can see the difference. How the keywords has been identified, how the header files has been identified, how the variables are assigned with the values. So it's very easy to identify the errors also, right? So this is the beauty of Sublime Text. See, some people, they don't like black screen. Maybe they are sentimental or whatever, I don't know. If you don't like the black screen, if you want to go for the this one, what you call white color screen, you can go for Notepad++. That is also an editor. Notepad++, that is also an editor. But most of the times I prefer because it's very easy for us to write the program also. You can see now I have shown you C program. I have shown you Java program, right? Let me show you one PHP also. I think I have one PHP here. Yeah, you can see here. This is a database program with PHP. This is a PHP code. This is a PHP code. So this is another language, PHP, right? So we are working for some project. So I'm just connecting that. Then how HTML code looks. See, this is a HTML. Your entire websites will be developed like using HTML, right? So this is a HTML code. You can see here. This is a project. Actually, this is one website, not project. How many lines of code is that? 396, right? Everyone seen the code, right? Now, let me just go here. We see or qwrites.in. So we have QWrites department, right? For that QWrites, it is a website. So the entire backend code is written by me, like the web pages and all, and also some database activity. Sorry. So it will load fast. I don't know, some internet connectivity issue or something. Okay, let it get loaded, no problem. Yeah. So this is the beauty of Sublime Text, what you have. Write your code, check whether it is correct or not. See, when you have only white color lines and all, no, it's not so good. But here you can easily identify the keywords, you can identify the data, you can identify the variables, you can identify the functionalities, etc., etc., etc. Right? So that is how it would be. Yeah. So this is a website. So to design this, that is the code. So when I just click on this, about us, right, verticals, you can see the movement of images, all those things. That is the code, HTML code. right? So then contact us. Yeah, right. Get started. So simple website, very simple website. Not, I won't say simple. For some reason we have developed within span of very less time for our NAC visit. Actually, now it is also integrated in main website. So no need to see this website. It's a main website. It is integrated. So for this website, it took almost like 300 lines of code. Not even 300, 200 lines of code. Another extra will be you have comments, all those things. Right. All right. So this is how you should also do the projects. Those who are interested to learn web designing and all, you can create wonders in web designing. You can create wonders in web designing, though you should have passion to learn, right? Okay, so that is your cup of coffee you should drink. I'll also show, yeah, later when time permits, I'll show you. Yeah, now, so this is the beauty of Sublime Text. So now what I will do is I have written one program, right? So where is that program? Yeah, not this one, not this one, not this one. You can have so many programs in Sublime Text, like you can go for 100 programs at a time. Yeah, this is the one which I have written. Now how to execute it? See, that is the program which I have saved it. E Java I have saved E:Java. So let me go to E:, now. So how to go to E:? Just put E:, CLS. Want to open particular folder, CD Java. CD Java. Now I am going to execute Java C svce.java. It should get executed. We'll see. If we'll get any error, that is good. We'll learn something. So what is the error? System.out.println semicolon expected. So I forgot to put the semicolon here. Right. So let me just save it once again. Control S. So let me come back. So again execute it. Any other error? So some error. What is the error? So public static void main string. So string is showing error. Why string is showing error? So it should be capital S. Now you can see the color has changed. When it's small, so something wrong. When I say capital S, so the color has changed to keywords. Now let me go and check. So now there is no error at the compile time. Let us see any error at the runtime. So how to do the runtime? Java SVCE. Java SVCE. So there is no error at the runtime. So I got the output. Welcome to SVCE. Welcome to SVCE. Right. So this is how you need to do the compilation and running of your program, running of your Java program. Right. So see, you may ask, sir, without Sublime Text we can work. Yes, you can work. You can type in Notepad, you can type in MS Word, you can type in WordPad, save it as .java file, and then you can do it. Right. So this is how it is going to be. Now let me go to the folder where I have saved this program. So I have saved in E drive. I have created a folder called Java. So here SVCE. See, this is a program which I have written. So for this, one bytecode is created, that is .class file. So let me just open this .class file for your sake to understand. So just open in the Sublime Text again. Yes, you can see here. This is the bytecode of my file. This is a bytecode of file. Don't ask me what is this, because I never worked with the compiler design and all. But this is called bytecode. That's what I know. Now, see, my class file is generated, right? So what I will do is Java C svce dot class. Java C svce dot class. So what happened? Invalid flag. Okay, sorry. Java svce dot class. Now, see here. Again, it is not going to work because that is a program which is a bytecode. It is not my original code. So when you run the class file at the bytecode level, it won't work. See, bytecode is only for the reference of the compiler. It is only for the reference of the compiler. It's not for us. So that is the reason it is not working, right? So hope you understood now what is the Java file, what is a bytecode. So how to execute Java programs, how to execute basics of Java programs. Now, again, if you just go and do the same procedure, so Java svce.java, Java svce, you can see. So what does it mean? Why I'm showing this one is, see, you work only on your Java code. You work only on your Java code. You're not going to work anything on the class file or the bytecode. So the bytecode will be a supporting file for the compiler or the system to understand how it has been generated from the source file, and based on that, it is going to take. Now let me show you how the Java programs will be written. Right. So let me open sample1.java. Yeah, you can see here. This is another Java program. So what we need to do is, first we need to initialize the class with the class name. I'm initializing with sample1. Then I'm calling the main function. Now what I'm doing, system.out.println, enter two numbers. I'm defining two variables with the two values. Sir, how to read the variable from user side? That we will see in coming class. Not now. First, you understand the basics of programming, then I'll show you. There is a concept called buffer readers, which we will use. So now what I'm doing, system.out.println, I want this value. So first plus second. So first value and second value I want to print, right? So that's why I'm just taking it. I'm calculating the sum of two numbers, first and second, and I'm going to print the sum. So plus is the operator which is going to work as when you want to fetch the values of the variables. It is going to work. Let me just execute first, then I'll show you how to practice these programs. Java C sample1. Not only this program, any programs when you want to practice, this is how you should practice. So Java sample1. Now you can see, enter two numbers, 10 and 20. The sum is 30. Now see what is happening here is, say for example, instead of plus here, I'm just going to put the plus at the first. Got it? So if plus is at the last, now I'm putting at the first. Now what will happen, we'll see. Whether we'll get error, whether we'll get the output, we'll see. Right. So now what happened? So we are getting the error. What is the error? So because we need to start every statement here. Let me go to Sublime Text again. Yeah. So whenever you want to start this value, you cannot start with the plus operator. So that's why the syntax is, when you want to go for the first variable, put it here. So let me just put it here. For the second variable here. So why this one we require? This is a space. And when you want to print the single value, put whatever statement you want within the double quotes, then plus sum. Say for example, if I don't want this statement, let me just remove this statement. Then I am putting plus sum. Let us save it, see how it is going to work. So just go back from the sample1.java. Next, Java sample1. Right, now you can see. So like this, you need to practice each and every instruction which is written in the program. So when you thorough with the basics, once you become expert in the program, it's not a big deal. You should be very thorough with the basics. These are the minor errors which we will get in your lab also. So immediately we will say, sir, it is not coming. So when you practice like this, you only remove some symbol, you only remove some operator, you only remove some statement, check what is going to happen. Not only this programming language, any programming language. So this is how I also learn. If I want to learn new language, I'll try all the possibilities, because when you try all the possibilities, next time when the error comes, you can easily solve it. Right? Hope everyone understood how to write the Java program. It's very simple. Start with the class, call the main function. Within that, you write the logic. So the logic might be anything. So based on your question, what I have given. Right? So let us see one more example yesterday which we have seen. So Fibonacci series we are writing. We are taking the variables. So we are printing that variables 0 and 1 initially. Then we are writing the logic. So this logic I am not going to explain. You can understand very easily. Right? So what is the Fibonacci series? 0 plus 1 equals to 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5, like that. And I am doing the swapping of two variables. Right? Swapping of two variables. Now, so when I execute this, let me just copy the title or the program name. So first let us execute, then we'll come back. CLS Java C Fibonacci example.java. Then Java Fibonacci example. Now you can see 0, 1. So 0 plus 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3, 3 plus 2 is 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. Right? Now let us go back to program. See, as I said, the logic is similar to your C programming. How you are going to write the logic, it's up to you. There is no restriction on the logic. Logic is up to you. See, I may write like this, someone may write in different way. So logic, I'm not going to stress much. So logic, you should understand and write how to write the logic. I'm stressing much on the syntax. So class we have created, main function we created, we call the variables called n1, n2. We have assigned some values for that, and one more variable n3, I count. So maximum I want to go for 10. So that is the reason I'm just giving 10. So for I equals to 0 we should give, but I equals to 2 we are giving. Because already the loop should start from 2 variables, because already it is there, 0 and 1 is defined. So I less than count plus I, n3 equals to n1 plus n2 as usual like your C programming. But this is what we are explaining yesterday. So when you want to create one header file from your side, you can also create. So this is going to be your class file. System is the class file. Out is the object. Print is the function. So this is the class file or class name. Out is the object. Print is the function. Right. So like this, we are going to take it and then we are going to execute the program. We are going to execute the program. Right. So now everyone got clear, like how to install, how to set the class path, how to write the basics of Java programming. Any doubts in this, please ask. Any question you can ask now.
Sir, while adding two numbers there to specify C as an address, in printf will not use ampersand.